Today's topic is immigration. So tell me, what is your concept of immigration? What do you have in mind whenever you listen to that word?
Um, in my personal opinion, I think that this phenomena.
Aha,
How do you say phenomena?
phenomena.
Phenomena
Yeah,
that
phenomena.
that that happen in all around the world, and it's a part of the human uh, mo- m- when the human wants want to have a better life.
Aha, kind of like social mobility.
A social mobility because they don't have the opportunity to earn a lot to earn money in this country in his
In
in their
there.
countries.
Aha, that's it. Do you consider that there could be any other reason why people migrate?
uh, um, the economic or the the insecurity.
Aha, that's a very important
this
part.
this another reason that the people moves their places to another country,
Mhm. For
or
example,
maybe the the social government, example Venezuela.
that's it. Time ago, I remember that in Cuba, there were lots of migration every year. They were the famous balseros that
Yes,
they were sailing by boat from Cuba to the United States.
yes, but the reason was the government.
Aha, that's it. Maybe oppression.
Yes, because they don't have um, a free in their life.
They didn't have freedom.
They didn't have freedom. Yes,
Yes, that's
sorry.
no, it's okay. All right. You know what? I think that, well, I personally think, I consider that there are also some other reasons. For example, security, as you said, when they are living in countries we have some um, diplomatical problems or they are in war. For example, Syria, some other could be Libya. So, do you know any other country or do you know about any other country's problem?
In this time in Africa, I I saw the news this morning that the military force take the how do you say take the government.
My goodness. And that,
Uh, the leader had 20 years in the power.
Jesus Christ. Do you consider that people in Africa would like to migrate because of the violence in their countries?
In part of the Africa, I I saw some news that is the reason the people immigrate to another place.
That's it. Jesus Christ. Well, that's tremendously sad because when people migrate just because they want to buy a pair of tennis shoes, it's okay. So that's not a problem. But when people migrate because they want to survive, that's really sad.
Yes, but the reason is the same in almost all the countries. The government is very bad.
Yeah, that's it.
The example uh, Cuba, Venezuela, Syria, and the last Libya.
Yes, that's it. And what do you think about Mexican migration? What are the causes for Mexican people to migrate, for example, to the United States? That's the most common.
Uh, in my personal opinion, actuality the people migrate to USA in order to get a lot of money, and they don't like to work in their, how do you say, tierras,
Lands,
in their lands. I I have some, how do you say, parientes.
relatives.
I have some relatives that they migrate to USA. They live in Michoacan state.
That's it.
They don't like to work their lands because um, in my point of view, uh, all the things that they saw in the TV that they have, for example, the smartphones, the tablets,
Hmm.
in general, the technology, they want to have a lot of clothes, cars, gadgets, actuality.
So they were moved by all the glamour of all of those items, no? The
I- In my personal opinion, actuality, yes. In the past, of I think the people wants to have to get a better life or to earn money.
hmm. And you know what? I think that it could also be that some people think that to have been into the United States give you another level, something like status. So they feel that if they speak in English, but English, of course, they are going to be maybe superior in a way. Or what do you think? Am I correct, or maybe I'm wrong?
Uh, are are you right or correct? Because some people feels in like you said.
That they feel like gringos.
Yes, I know some people that they migrate to USA and they return to my city and they said, I don't want to return to USA again
Why? What
because
happened?
because they live um, only to work all time to
Mm,
get a lot of money, and they don't have um, free time for how do you say, entertainment
for entertaining.
to entertain, yes,
Oh my! So in a way, they were
because
slaves.
sorry,
That's slavery.
yes,
Yes, in a way, they were slaves of the system.
I don't know.
No, ellos fueron esclavos de alguna manera.
Ah, okay, yes.
Yes, that's it. All right. I think that it is a very controversial topic. But look at this. Let's go to the next image. Here we have some chunks of words. They are going to be very useful for us to express some ideas about migration. For example, I am going to select some of them. For example, I would like to talk about asylum. I would like to talk about deportation and identity. All right.
What, what is a asylum?
Asylum is when people from other country ask to, for example, to your country for a house and for permission to live there. For example, the
Ah, okay.
yeah,
When the people when the people ask for to live in, for example, in the garden.
yeah. For example, Honduran people here in Mexico asked for asylum just that they could have a little opportunity to rest. And the real asylum that they were
Okay,
going to ask was to the United States to ask them to live there.
okay,
Okay, so here we go. I am going to talk about immigration can be caused uh, by the people's need of asylum, um, and they have fear to they fear they have fear of deportation, so they assume a new identity. Okay, this is my example. I was
okay,
using basically the three words that I told you. So could you help me writing some examples, some 4 or 5 examples about these words used?
okay. Mm, okay.
Excellent. You wrote, the people don't have a passport when they migrate to USA, and they violate the law in this country because they are not legal people. Hey, that's great. Pretty good. Just I am going to do some corrections, okay?
Okay. Yes.
So whenever you are talking about general issues, for example, the people in general, we are not going to use the THE. Just whenever you are talking about specific groups, for example, the people who go to the United States, we are talking not about all the people, just about the people who go to the United States.
Okay.
Okay, people don't have a passport when they migrate to the, in this case, the name of the country is the USA. So let me write it down to the USA. Okay, here it is. And they, well, this was a little error, no?
Okay.
And they violate the law in this country because they are not legal people. Hey, that was very good. You know what? Just those little corrections, no more.
Okay.
Excellent. So, could you
Okay.
help me to write four more?
Yes.
Thank
Let
you.
me let me let me take in in, in the sentence.
Yes, that's it. Okay, pretty good. So you wrote the judicial department is the authority to apply the legislation about illegal immigration. Hey, very good. Really good, Archimedes. Just a little correction.
Yes.
About is a preposition. Of is a preposition. Here we don't need about of. Whenever you say about, you are saying acerca de. So
Okay.
it is not necessary to remark it again. And illegal. It is with double L.
Okay.
ILE, legal. But those were just the corrections. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You are really good.
Let me think another sentence.
Yeah, right. No, está trabajando. Hey, that's very good. People needs to make official asylum in the administration and naturalization office. Hey, that's pretty good. Very good. Just an observation. Here, whenever you talk about people, you are talking about a collectivity. So they need. Here you are using the S for the
Oh,
third person. If you are
okay,
talking about one person, then a person needs. But here it's people needs.
okay,
Hey, you know what? You are doing very big progress. Sometimes we think that we commit mistakes and it is because we are not growing up. But I don't think so. I think that when people try to do things and they commit mistakes, is because they are processing. And that process of the information is what is going to give you the mastering. So,
okay.
congratulations to you. You are very good.
Thank you, Maggie.
All right. So, you know what? Let's go to the next page. But previously to this, let me erase everything I marked. Okay.
Okay.
Now, let's go to the next. Here we are. Ta-da! Here you are. Well, those are some images about what I think about immigration. What are the implications that people can have when they migrate? For example, the search for a job, the separation with their families, the migration caravans, and the uncomfortable, unsecure, and expensive sometimes and risky situations they live. Or maybe discrimination. So please, could you talk to me about your idea? What are the implications that migration have?
Mm, implication that immigration. Mm, in general, for me, is the immigration. Uh, uh, mm, the immigration separates the families. Uh, some only some members of the families came to migrate to another places. Uh, sometimes, in actuality, all the family migrate to another country. We can uh, we can see in the news every morning. I saw the not the news about um, caravans of the uh, Cent- America Central,
Yeah,
uh,
Central America.
Central America, from the Honduras,
Honduran
Salvador,
people, Salvadorian people.
Salvadorian people, and they is in most of the cases only the the father of the family to migrate to USA, and they sometimes they pay a lot of money to the polleros
Aha, to
in
the people who who deal with it with this. It's like commerce.
Yes, in all the world, because people pay, for example, here in America, and the people pay in the Europe and in Africa.
Hmm.
I know some cases, or I saw some news in the TV.
Yes, that's it. Archimedes, do you consider that migrating is dangerous? Is it risky for people who migrate?
Mm, I don't know. Maybe I uh, uh, I think some people in general, the percent of the people that migrate to another country is honorable people. Some a little percent for me is is there are a tip uh,
Uh-huh,
over people.
uh-huh, yes, that's it.
I think so.
You know what? I think that there has been something like bad campaign about against immigrants, because you know what? If, for example, in the social nets, there are circulating some videos about immigrants that are stealing in a combi, for example, in Chiapas. And so people have another opinion about the immigrants just because they saw that they were three people who were stealing. They were not stealing. They were robbing people in the combi, no, in the public transportation. But yes, I agree.
Yes, but the people that make I I saw the people that to 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 make this this still or robbing the people in the transport in the transport is the of this country.
They
For
were
example,
Mexican.
in Mexico, you can saw the news every day in the state of Mexico.
In Mexico State.
In Mexico State, happen every morning.
Yes, that's it. You know what? Actually, I am living in Ecatepec. So, you know what? Everything that people say about Ecatepec is true. It is really dangerous because we can see everyday crime. And we know every day that something terrible happened, that there were some students killed. For example, this terrible situation that happened in CCH in Naucalpan, that there was a student killed. She was violated and she was killed, and that was lots of students made a break. And so in all of the CCH schools, students made the break because they were protesting, because they wanted more security. Now Calpan is part of the Mexico state.
Yes, and the people that to make this to kill another the students or to kill the people in general is not immigrate.
They are not immigrants. Yes, you're right. They are nationals. They are Mexican people.
And for and I think that the immigrants to like to the title of this topic, helpful the country to make more productivity.
Uh,
The the first example is the USA.
yes, that's it. I agree.
The the and and it's curious that the President Trump think that the oh scare no uh, how do you say they fear of immigrants.
That's
uh,
it.
and I know that they he grandfather was or is an immigrant.
That's it, yes. His mother was an immigrant. She was Irish. So
Okay.
how can he talk about the danger of having immigrants in the United States if even his family was immigrant? And you know what? Something that attracted my attention also was that the only people who couldn't say that they are immigrants were the Indians, Navajos, Sioux, this, how do you say this other group, Comanches? They were the natural owners of the land. And the immigrants were the English people who came, they established in the 13 sections, in the 13 colonies. They came
Hmm.
And they came here to kill the Indians. They were immigrants. So, how is it possible that now people think that only poor people are immigrants, and that they are criminals?
Yes, that is very I don't know irrational.
That's it. I agree with you. It is irrational. There is also in Mexico some colonization, some colonies formed by immigrants. For example, in San Miguel de Allende, many, a really lot of people, the majority of people, the rich people who live there are Canadian people, they are American people, and so they are immigrants. Of course, they are rich, but anyway, they are immigrants. And so,
Yes.
how in the Constitution, in the Article 127, no, I'm sorry, in the Article 27 in the Constitution, it says that it is forbidden, it is not permitted in Mexico to sell part of our territory to strangers, to people from other countries. So they come to Mexico, they buy beautiful houses, and they establish with the name of any other person here. And so, how is it possible that the last government permitted that situation? Of course, they are welcome if they are on vacation, no? But they are immigrants. They are rich people, but they are immigrants anyway.
Yeah. Uh, yes, and in near to my city, there are a city named San Rafael, Veracruz,
Aha,
and they had French, a lot of French people.
yeah, that's it.
They immigrate in the maybe uh, in the 40 4 years, and they establish
Aha,
in
that's
this
it.
in this city, and they grow up this region.
So sometimes we feel strangers even in our country just because they were immigrants, but they had money. So I think that here the problem is not immigration. The problem is money. If you are rich, you can migrate. If you are poor, then there's no place for you.
Yes,
In my point of view, that's the problem.
but I know that these people arrive in the when how do you say persecution persecution
The chasing
the
or
chasing
the
the
pursuit.
yes they arrive to Mexico in this time when they feel uh, they don't have freedom.
That's it. So many diplomatical, many political issues made people to migrate, and so now we are invaded by migrate immigrants. For example, in Mexicali also, there is a section of Chinese people who migrate to Mexico. And
Yes,
now they are Mexican Chinese people.
I have a friend from Italy.
An Italian friend.
Yes, an Italian friend. They had a, a little uh, Italian restaurant,
Uh-huh.
and they live in my city.
Could you remind me where you live?
I live in Tezutlan, state
Ah,
of Puebla.
Puebla, Teciutlán. That's a very beautiful place.
You know this place?
No, I just have seen some photographs and I long to go there. Maybe one of these days I'm going to take the chance to visit Teciutlán.
Okay, it will be a pleasure to receive for this place in this place.
Thank you very much. It will be an honor for me to visit you. You know what? I think that in Mexico we have many different resources and we have many different places, wonderful places that people all around the world appreciate a lot. So that's why they come to visit and they stay. Here there are a lot of German people, American people, Canadian people, and they stay here because they love Mexico. I think that the only ones who don't appreciate it, Mexico are Mexicans.
Yes, I agree with you.
that's that's tremendous because we are in one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Yes, I know that some long people of the USA established in Mexico because the medical attention is is very cheap.
That's it. There are many things that we have in Mexico and that in other countries they don't have. You know what?
Yes.
I was studying in the University of Southern Indiana because
Mhm.
of a scholarship that I was offered by the Mexican government. And I was talking to my friends there in Indiana, and one day they asked me, "Hey Maggie, how much do you pay for education in your country?" And I said, "Well, it just depends where you study. For example, if you study in UNAM, you pay 10 cents per year."
Yeah.
Yes, I'm serious. My daughter studies there. Of course, we don't pay 10 cents because it is ridiculous. So we are having an enormous benefit. And of course, we have to support the university. So 1,000 pesos when we can. It is deportation for a year. And they said, 1,000? How much is 1,000 in dollars? I said, I don't know, maybe like if the peso, if the dollar is now kind of like 16 pesos, oh, well, it is something like $60. And they said, Maggie, you know what? Do you know how much do we pay for a semester in here? We pay $9,000
Yes.
and it is public school. So
Yeah.
the private schools, they pay kind of like $2,500 per month.
That is the reason that the students when they had a grade, they acquire a dog.
Uh,
No, they acquire a debt
uh,
for a long time.
that's it.
They 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 need to pay maybe 10 of 50 years after they leave of the university.
Yeah, that's it. And you know what? Here in UNAM, for example, students of any other countries are received, and of course, they don't pay 10 cents, they pay too much more. But it doesn't compare with the quantity they are paying in their own countries.
Yes,
Anyway, for them, it is really, really cheap.
yes,
And UNAM, for example, is considered like one of the best universities in Latin America.
yes, and I agree with this consideration.
All right. Well, you know what? I would like you to talk to me about one of these questions I am going to show you. Here you are. So, please, could you observe? I'm sorry. Could you observe the questions and answer just one? The one that you consider more interesting, the one that you want.
Mm, okay. Uh, I write my answer.
No, just say.
I like this question. What could happen if we erase all country borders and let the people live wherever they want?
Hey, that's a great question.
I consider that my answer I will be very happy in the world.
Uh, so if there wouldn't be discrimination, if there wouldn't be deportations, like John Lennon said, no, imagine there's no countries.
Yes, I know only the people need to have a good, a very good education to respect the places, to respect the people, and I will live.
Yeah, you know what? I think that you said something very important. Education is not only to have knowledgement, it is not only to have information. In my point of view, education is to live with values and to have the possibility to have integration in society because of the respect of one each other. Well, that's my point of view about education.
Yes, I agree with you.
All right, excellent. Okay, Archimedes, you know what? I think that this has been a very interesting topic. I really enjoyed it. And I don't know if you want to say any other comment or to ask any question.
It's not only very interesting topic, but it's actuality topic
Yeah,
be-
that's it.
because immigration is in all parts of the world.
Yes, that's it. Everywhere, everywhere, all around
Okay.
the world.
Only one question.
Yes.
I will have class next Friday.
If you want, yes. If you don't want, there's no problem. Of course, we are in a labor week. In Ilse, we don't have any break. Even in Christmas, even in New Year, we work. But
Okay.
it just depends on you. If you want to have free time, for me, there's no problem.
Okay. In in this, I think I will see you next Friday.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, Archimedes, have a very good night and meet you next Friday.
Thank you, Maggie. Do
Thank
you
you.
have a very good night too?
Likewise. Thank you very much.
Thank you to you. See you next week.
Meet you next week.